So, peeps, Kingsman: The Golden Circle is being directed once again by Matthew Vaughn. And I have to say, the first Kingsman movie was one of my favorite movies of 2015. And a lot of people, I think, will agree with me that the first Kingsman movie was also a really great homage to James Bond of, like, the 60s. You know, where Austin Powers was like a parody of it all. Kingsman felt more like it was paying homage to it, but also doing its own thing. And I think it succeeded at that with flying colors. It held, like, the wacky scenarios and wacky, like, just villains that James Bond kind of had, but it also had, like, this serious, like, little somber tone to it with characters and story plot. I like that a lot. And I have to say, The Golden Circle feels more like they took the cuffs of restraint and subtlety that the first ones had on and just threw it out of the window and said, "Hey, look at me," and it just started yelling over top of itself. So, with that really weird analogy out of the way, let me tell you what I thought about Kingsman: The Golden Circle. I have to say, this film had the potential to have a good story behind it. If they would have just cut down on all, like, this quirkiness that felt like an Austin Powers ripoff, it would have been a good story, and it wouldn't have felt like something that was style over substance. That's, like, the one thing I'm probably going to keep mentioning in this review. This film is so style over substance. I shit you not, there's literally a scene where Sir Elton John, the artist, scissor kicks a guy in the face in slow-mo while smiling at the camera. That's what I mean when I say style over substance for this film. Like, they spend so much time on one subplot with Harry being introduced back into the plot, which I think takes away a lot of, like, the impact to the characters that it had on the first one, like Eggsy especially. They just spent so much time on it, too. Like, the majority of the runtime is spent on Harry just trying to get back his memory. There's no time for the villain. Like, I don't understand why she did what she did, other than she was a lonely recluse who killed her own henchman and kind of acted like some crazy lady who kind of just needed medicine. That's it. She doesn't feel like Samuel L. Jackson in the first one, who actually had, like, a character and a personality. And they don't spend any of the time on the statesman. They literally spend time on just Eggsy dealing with things, like how he has to stick a tracking device into a woman, and it was a really awkward scene, by the way, and just, like, argue with that over, like, the girlfriend that he boned at the end of the first one. Yeah, remember that lady who kind of just said, "I'll let you stick it anywhere if you save the world"? That's his girlfriend now. I don't know why. It's just such a mess of a story, and it truly disappointed me. And I also noticed that some of the filmmaking took a hit too. Like, action scenes, they look hideous. Not because the CGI looks hideous, which it does, but it's because it just looks so fake. Like, they tried to, like, overdo and overtop, like, you know, the church scene in the first one that everyone loves. It looks ugly. It just looks so manufactured in a computer that my eyes started to just hurt looking at it. Also, they do that really annoying technique of slowing down the shot in, like, a slow-mo moment, you know, in, like, an action scene, especially when, like, Eggsy's shooting people. Stop doing that, Hollywood. What is it with you people doing that? It's so annoying. Quit it. It's disgusting to look at, and it hurts my eyes. And another thing that caught my attention was the soundtrack. The soundtrack was so ear-numbingly dull, it just sounded like they hired a generic, like, Marvel soundtrack producer. No offense towards Marvel movies, they're all great, but their soundtracks suck. To just produce this song over and over and over again on repeat. There's no, like, variety in the songs. There's no anything other than, like, fight scenes where they just play, like, some cool, hip stuff to the fight. That's pretty much it. That's, like, the one moment of the soundtrack I was like, okay, this is decent. And now finally the characters. They spend most of the time with Eggsy, like I said, an unhealthy amount, and it really drags down the screen time. And also, they decide to just get rid of some subplots that were mentioned in the first one. Like the mom, she's barely there, and the dog, just, I don't want to spoil it, but not a lot happens with the dog, I'll just say that. And also, like, that female agent that he was working with, just snuffed out. Just gone in a flash. She's in it for maybe 10 minutes, maybe even less. I'm exaggerating that. And that's it. And yeah, seeing Colin Firth return to his role as Harry was great because, you know, Colin Firth's one of the best actors of his generation, but I have to admit, I feel like if they would have just cut that out, this movie would have been a lot better. And, would have had a lot more impact on characters, watching them do what they would do. See if he would, mimic what Harry did. That would have been pretty cool to see. But we get to see the majority of Colin Firth's character just swatting at butterflies that aren't there and talking like he is a crazy guy. And I won't go on and on anymore about the characters. I mean, a lot of them aren't in it. The only statesman that really, reoccurs is Pedro Pascal's character, Whiskey, the guy with, the rope and the insane revolver ocelot skills. And that's it. It disappointed me. The film honestly just disappointed me. It is just not very good, and that's why I'm going to give it a 4. So, peeps, sorry if that took a long time. A lot of points were made, a lot of criticisms were given. So, have you seen Kingsman: The Golden Circle? Tell me what you thought about it. Did you think I was harsh on it, or did you think I wasn't harsh on it enough? Leave a comment down below. Do all that YouTube stuff. Like, dislike. If you're feeling generous, I don't know if you should, but hey, subscribe. That boosts my confidence. And, have a great evening, life, afternoon. Thank you for the view, and thanks for the, I don't know. I just end it with a thanks, peeps. You're pretty cool.